Hey there, Terror Talk fans. Are you looking for a new way to let your voice be heard? If so, check out our friends at Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for creating your very own podcast. They offer editing tools to create your podcast, which include your audio, listener audio, unique transitions, and custom advertisements. In addition, they'll also help you distribute your podcast to other listener sources, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many others. With this unique app, you also have the chance to get paid for your podcast by simply placing ads for various sponsors in your videos. Best part of it all? It is 100% free. Anchor does all the work for you and makes podcasting as simple as turning on a light. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.FM. Whether you're new to podcasting, doing it as a hobby, or hosting a professional show, Anchor is the place for you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to The Terror Talks. We are here today on episode 7. My name's Jeremy, and today I am joined by two very important people in my life. We've got Daniel, my brother, and our close friend, Mr. Aiden. Say hello, guys.
Hey.
Hey.
So, we're doing things a little differently this evening. As you could probably hear in the background, I'm going to try and fix it up in post. You'll probably hear the sound of the road flying underneath us. That is because the three of us are doing this from the comfort of one microphone, from one vehicle. We are actually out right now door dashing. Ain't that right, boys?
Yep. Bit of a slow night.
Yeah, it's a bit of a slow night, so we're going to try and, have a little bit of fun here. So if you hear us kind of slow down or get quiet, give directions, that type of thing. Thank you, Daniel. It's just because we're working on the clock and we're recording an episode. But this is an episode that could not wait because we have recently heard some announcements regarding Halloween Horror Nights. Isn't that right, gentlemen?
Yeah, they just posted about it. You just informed us what it actually was going to be.
Yes, so we found out... Here, I'm just going to sit that there and hopefully that'll not be in the way too much. We found out that they are bringing back one of the epic horror icons of Halloween Horror Nights, and that
a railroad crossing.
that would be Jack the Clown. Jack is back, and it's pretty amazing. You know, we're very excited about this. I think a lot of people saw it coming this year. It's the 30th anniversary, and this will be our first year. Our Terror Talks crew will be attending this event. I think we are very excited, aren't we, Daniel?
Yes, that is true. We are very, very excited.
We got to do last year's HHN Light, which featured two houses, Revenge of the Tooth Fairy and The Bride of Frankenstein's Revenge. But we got to experience those two haunted houses that Universal had to offer, and those were pretty good, weren't they?
Yeah, they were pretty good haunted houses. Very solid. Yeah.
Yeah, you can. It was our first experience getting to experience a bit of a hint of Halloween Horror Nights, not the full experience, but we're very grateful that Universal has made the bold decision to go forth with it this year. And so this year we're going to get to experience it in its full glory, the way it is really and truly intended to be experienced. So we're very excited about that. So a couple days ago, we saw an announcement on Twitter from Universal Studios. They started teasing a lot of the people out there with a teaser video. So they basically went live streaming for somewhere close to over 24 hours. I don't know if you guys saw this. Did either one of you get to see this?
No, I didn't see it.
No idea.
I'll have to show it to you sometime. They went and basically did a live stream for over 24 hours on YouTube, and every time people clicked on this live stream, they got a the staticky, fuzzy stuff you get on a TV. You know, when what's that movie with it?
Poltergeist?
Poltergeist, yeah. It was kind of like the Poltergeist television. That's what we got. And we got that. We had some other flashy images kind of come across the screen, but nothing concrete. Nobody knew what was happening. Well, at noon, we got an official announcement. It was a video. Turns out this video was linked on by several of the other people out there in the world, and that's why Universal decided to kind of, screw with us a little bit and kind of say, hey, we know you know what's coming, but we're going to mess with you a little bit anyways. So they messed with us for over 24 hours, and then they finally announced that Jack the Clown would be returning to this year's Halloween Horror Nights 30, which he is one of the original Horror Nights icons, along with several other ones. Dano, do you remember who the director is? One of them.
The director, the storyteller. I
think the usher is one of them.
The
right?
usher guy. I forgot his name.
No, that's his name. The usher.
Yeah.
Storyteller, director, usher. I feel like there's another one. If anyone knows,
like
feel free to message us. Let us know. Let us know what we missed. Maybe we'll do like an origins kind of discussion about each of these one day. It's very, very cool how Universal developed these. But so Universal announced the return of Jack, and with that they did one more thing, and that was they officially announced ticket sales for Halloween Horror Nights. So tickets are now on sale. So we're going to give you a little bit of information on those ticket sales, and then after that we're going to talk a little bit about one of the rumored houses that the three of us know of, because I think we have a lot that we kind of can discuss about it because we've all seen the movie. But first, let's talk about these ticket prices. So if you go on the official Universal website or app, you go like you're going to buy tickets, and then go, just kind of bypass the tickets and the express passes, and then click on extras, and then you'll have an option to select Halloween Horror Nights. When you get to that option, you will have 4 different types of tickets. The first one is a standard one night only pass, and that is $70, $71, $70.99, $70 roughly. And that gets you one night into Halloween Horror Nights. The second thing they have is an Express Pass, which is $69. This Express Pass basically is like the Universal Express Passes for their rides. It gets you to the front of the line for each individual haunted house. So you buy that, you get to the front of the line, you get to skip all of the, craziness. But truthfully, from what I understand, the Express Pass doesn't do a whole lot on Halloween Horror Nights because we have other things that they give you. The next thing that they offer you, the third type of ticket, is a Behind the Screams tour. This is I believe, it's either $69 or $79. It's somewhere between that range. And what this is, it is a behind-the-scenes, lights-on tour of either 3 or 6 haunted houses. You have 2 options. You can do the 3-house pass or the 6-house pass. And what you get to do is you go in during the day with a tour guide, and they show you a complete inside look at these haunted houses. I know last year there was, or not last year because there wasn't anything except the mini one, but the year before that when they did HHN29, there were several houses that I think we would have loved to experience. I know, Aiden, you would have loved, they had a Ghostbusters house that year, and I think you would have really enjoyed that. They did Stranger Things. They did, what else did they do? Dan, do you remember what they did for 29?
No idea. All I remember is Ghostbusters and Stranger Things.
Ghostbusters and Stranger Things. Those were the big ones that everybody flocked to. They did Universal Monsters, so they brought in the classic monsters, so that was a very, very neat thing that they did that year. House of 1,000 Corpses, Rob Zombie. That, from what I understand, that was your blood, guts, and gore. Yeah, so, there was a lot of really cool houses that year. But then they also had some original houses, and one of them was Depths of Fear, which was like an underwater alien kind of thing. Basically, it was their version of Alien. They did one called Graveyard Games, which was, from my understanding, it was absolutely amazing. And what they did, you guys are going to love this. they did an entire soundproof room. So you went inside the room, it was pitch black, the walls were doubly insulated. So you couldn't hear outside, and all you could hear was the sound that was inside. And so they had like a speaker in your ear that sounded like somebody basically just whispering in your ear.
Nice.
Like, it sounds really creepy, and I wish I could have experienced it. Unfortunately, we did not get to. But, you know, alas, you know, maybe we'll get to one of these days. Maybe this year. This year's the year. We're going to get some really cool houses, I hope, this year. 30th anniversary, so we're very excited about this. So finally, the last type of pass that you can purchase is the RIP tours. And what that is a behind-the-scenes tour that happens during the night on Halloween Horror Nights. And what happens is you get to go to the front of the line. You get a tour guide that's going to tell you background on all the stories. You get, you know, refreshments, and you get to go through with a group. It's a very awesome, unique experience. So I highly recommend, if you get a chance, buy the RIP tour tickets. That is $200. Hopefully this year will be our year to do that. So those are your ticket prices. We're just a quick rundown. That's why we're recording this, because they were just announced, so we want to make sure we get this out quickly. So we are going to take a short little break while Daniel gets this DoorDash right now. We'll be right back. Hey there, Terror Talks fans. Are you looking for some other content to listen to? Well, check out our friends at Tales from the Crypt. Join them on a journey into the unexplained, the unnatural, and the unbelievably scary. Every week, they dig through the creepiest and weirdest listener stories, almost too horrifying to be true. This ghoulishly delightful podcast is narrated by two ghoulish girls. Have a story to tell? Questions? Comments? Contact them at tfTCsub@gmail.com. Be sure to check them out and let them know the Terror Talk sent you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back on episode 7 of the Terror Talks. You heard us earlier, we were talking about Universal Studios' Halloween Horror Nights. Big deal. For us, this is going to be our first year going. This will be their 30th anniversary, so we are very excited. And with that excitement comes this year's speculation map of what we think is going to be at this event this year. And one of the speculated houses for this year is one of my favorite movies, Halloween 3: Season of the Witch.
That's your favorite movie?
It's one of my favorite ones. I can appreciate what they were trying to do when they made that movie, because the thing was, they weren't trying to create a whole story of Michael Myers. That was never the intent. They wanted to make, the Halloween movies were supposed to be like an anthology series. So, like, the first part of the anthology had to do with Michael Myers. So they thought in this next chapter of it, they would branch off and talk about this weird cult that wanted to, you know, focused on the harvest, kind of. So it was always supposed to be kind of like, you know, different villains, basically, if you will. It was more of a series than it was supposed to be Michael Myers for all 8. And you see what it turned into when they had him in it as much as they did. It turned into a cash cow that eventually, in my opinion, kind of got old in some of them. I mean, I can't be the only one who thinks that, right?
Yeah, I think the problem was, though, is that they didn't really clearly specify what they wanted to do with the series, and because the first two had Michael Myers, they just assumed that the next one would have followed him, and then when they didn't see him, because, I mean, he was a bit of a fan favorite. He's an icon in horror now.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just the fact that he wasn't there in the third one, but he was there in the first two, that left a lot of questions, and because I guess the director wasn't very clear about, like what he wanted to do, the message was received poorly, and a lot of people felt like, you know, they shouldn't even have, like, the name Halloween on it, because Halloween was, like, Michael Myers' franchise. Which I think that's where they did wrong. They probably should have, you know, at least kind of explained throughout their movies, like, hey, it's more than just Michael. There's a bigger plot line here. So,
right.
Like, it wasn't just about him. He was one incident in the whole thing. And even then, if they really wanted to, they could have had like a character throughout all the Halloween movies that's there throughout the whole universe to basically tie in each of the movies, and there to kind of like explain it, like they know what's going on and they're trying to like piece together the bigger picture. But oh well.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that for many of the hardcore, diehard Halloween fans, there are several of them who think, Halloween 3 doesn't belong in the group. They should have done away with it or found a way to drop the Halloween 3 title and just call it Season of the Witch. And I'm kind of, like I said, I'm okay with it. I feel like it's actually very strong as its own standalone film. I love the kind of mystery of, they go to Silver Shamrock and, they're investigating this mask and, why this guy was just murdered in his room. I don't know if you guys remember the plot of it or not.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I think it was a very interesting directing.
Right?
Or direction. Very interesting direction for them to take with the overall concept. So I very much enjoyed it. And I thought it was very, very cool to do. So, for those of you who don't know the story, let's refresh your memories real quick. This is the plot synopsis of this film. Hospital emergency room, Dr. Daniel Dan Chalice and Ellen Grimbridge, the daughter of a murder victim, uncover a terrible plot by small-town mask maker Connell Cochran, a madman who's planning a Halloween mass murder utilizing an ancient Celtic ritual. The ritual involves a boulder stolen from Stonehenge, the use of silver shamrock masks, and a triggering device contained in a television commercial, all designed to kill millions of children. This movie came out on October 22nd, 1982, and was directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, and the production companies were Dino De Laurentiis Corporation and Deborah Hill Productions, grossing about $14.4 million at the box office. The movie stars Tom Atkins as Dr. Daniel Chalice and Stacey Nelkin as Elle Grimbridge. And then Dan O'Herlihy as Connell Cochran. Those are our three main people in this film. And I have to say, they did an amazing job in this film.
So just to jump right into the spoiler, I guess. I mean, I haven't watched the whole movie's entirety, but I've seen the clip of the kid watching his TV and his head deteriorates and turns into a bunch of bugs and whatnot. So my question is, like, that was a pretty cool idea when I saw that. I haven't seen the movie's entirety, so I can't really give a whole entire rating, but just seeing that scene, I was like, okay, that was pretty well done for the 80s, and I like the idea of it. And I see why people don't like it as a Halloween movie. Like, it should have been its own thing. But how is Universal going to do it for a haunted house? Are you going to wear masks throughout the are you going to put on, like, silver shamrock masks or something throughout the walk? Or, like, I don't know what they're going to do and how they're going to incorporate the theme of just the silver shamrock and everything. Because, I mean, you're not going to get chased by, like, a big monster or anything, because it was more about a corporation and an ancient ritual than anything else. So it's going to be interesting to see what Universal's going to do, which I'm sure they won't disappoint. Probably not as disappointing as the movie was for some people, but I mean, knowing Universal, their history of just movie making and doing effects and like emulating feelings of like situations and whatnot, I'm sure they'll do a good job. I don't know how it's going to go, but you'll definitely have to let me know, Jeremy. But I don't know what exactly they're going to be doing. I have no clue because, like I said, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know what they could specifically do.
So this isn't the first time that Universal has done a film with something that isn't necessarily horror. That's not the right word.
There's not physical threat.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. One of the haunted houses they did, I guess it was back in HHN 29. They did Us. If you remember the movie Us, that was a big blockbuster hit. I think a lot of people remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. I didn't see it, but I remember it.
And the way they did it was they found, because I mean, that's the really interesting thing about that haunted house and that movie is all the monsters in there are regular people. You know, it's not like some big monster is out to get you the whole time. It's not coming after you. And so in the case of that haunted house, you know, they had they found different ways to kind of jump scare you. And I imagine that's kind of what they'll do here is they'll use, you know, what would be, I guess, the more dominating figures, the things that would scare you more, to kind of to create a jump scare. So like in the movie, you've got these kind of like there's these men who are all in suits and they all look the same. You know, they're the robot, kind of creepy robot henchmen basically for Silver Shamrock. And, you know, they kind of serve as the scary figure because they're unknown and they look human, but there's something about them. And I honestly think for a lot of people, that's what scares people a lot more than, you know, any ghost. Because you can go into a haunted house and you've got a guy ripping an arm off and somebody going down the hallway bleeding guts and gore. But it's the things that we see in everyday life that I think scare people a little bit more. And so they can really play to that strength with this because the characters in there are just going to, I mean, they're not going to look quite like everyday people because they're in suits, obviously. If you're wearing a suit to Halloween Horror Nights, I'm going to assume either one, you're freaking crazy, or two, you're one of Universal Creative going to check and see how things are going. So if I see you in a suit at Halloween Horror Nights, we're going to have some words when I see you. But I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of had like these guys in these suits kind of hidden away. And like when you go past, I guess, like an empty door or whatever, like a really cool lighting effect with a audio kind of like, you know, to kind of highlight that they're right there. And so, in my opinion, that would be one way that they could easily do that. And then, like you said, with the kid getting his head smushed and stuff by the pumpkin mask, I think they could easily have you kind of walk by that scene and kind of look in on it and see this kid just having his head literally just mutilated when you walk by it. Daniel, do you have any thoughts on how they could pull off Season of the Witch in haunted house form?
Not really, just make you walk through like the entire movie starting from start to beginning pretty much. Towards the end, the last scene will be like a kid in a little pumpkin mask melting away, pumping out of a corner or something.
Yeah, I mean, that is typically the norm when they do these movie haunted houses.
You go through the whole movie?
Yeah, you kind of walk through the whole thing. So like Ghostbusters, for example, from what I saw, you literally went start to finish through each scene. You know, you saw Dana getting eaten by the chair. You saw Gozer coming out of the temple, and you know they actually had pre-recorded audio from the movie. So like, like, are you a god? And Ray's like, no, and like that came over the speaker, and you heard that. Or we got one, and there was a Janine who would jump up and she'd slam a button and start the buzzer and stuff. Like, it was very cool. It was a very cool concept.
The theme song as you walk through certain parts.
Well, that was the thing, though. You didn't hear the theme song in this house. Keep going straight.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that with Halloween 3, where, you know, you literally walked through each little part of it. You know, you go into the hospital room where the guy is getting his face basically smushed by the monster guy who, you know, he's got that super freak human strength. Or then you walk through Silver Shamrock and you see the lady get electrocuted by the electrocution chip. Like, I feel like there's any number of things they could do there. And can you imagine, like, as you're walking out, the creepy happy Halloween, and like just like it's just playing, and all you hear is the main character saying, stop it, like that's how I can imagine the whole house ending that way. And then like maybe having one last scare of a person kind of come out and scream at you or something, or maybe you walk into one final room and just see all these kids with their heads getting like completely just mutilated by these masks. I mean, I don't know. I mean, my brain is kind of like it's running every which way trying to figure out how they could pull something like that off.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be really neat.
Did you know in the movie, whenever he, towards the end of the movie, whenever he punches the creepy robot dude, the orange stuff that comes out of his mouth is actually frozen orange juice?
Wow.
We got random facts about movies with Daniel here. I didn't know that, so that's a neat little factoid, I guess.
Yeah, I saw an interview between the guy who played him and all that,
Huh.
and another horror talk show guy. He has his own show on YouTube.
How about that? That's really interesting. I like that. I never knew that bit of information. So, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Where do we think, if we could rate it right now, where do you think it would stand on a scale of 1 to 10?
Are we going to pre-rate the haunted
As
house
in the
or are we
movie,
rating
or as in the haunted house?
Let's just pre-rate like the haunted house. Like how excited would you be to see this house?
Like a 4?
I'd probably say, yeah, probably like a 5 or 6. I mean, the title doesn't make me like jump for joy, but I am curious enough to be like, you know, I'll check it out, sure.
All right, so
I'm not gonna go in expecting to like, you know, be running out of the house in a dead sprint or anything, but I mean, I will be like, okay, that's the movie. That's pretty cool.
So you rated about a 5 or 6. Daniel, you rated about a 4. I guess I'd probably be around, like, in terms of how excited I am to see it, like a 1 at the top of the scale. Like, I'm absolutely excited to see it. Like, I would love to see this. Is it the one I'm most excited about? Probably not. I don't know. I feel like it's a very... It's one that catches my eye and it interests me, but I don't know if it's like the one I'm just like, oh yeah, this is going to be the best one yet. But I am very excited to see how they'll pull this off.
Yeah.
And it will definitely be one that I'll be very excited when we hear the actual announcement of if that is the one we're going to get. So I hope we get it, but on the off chance that we don't, the other speculated haunt is the TV show Creep Show, and that is a TV show that has been made by Greg Nicotero, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. If anybody, Daniel's looking it up for us now, he's going to find out about it.
Well, it's a TV show and it's a film.
Oh, so here's the real question. What are they going to use to base it off, the TV show or the film?
I can tell you about the TV
I would
show.
imagine, given... Oh, no.
What?
You're not dashing anymore.
Oh, I can hit resume.
Oh, I didn't know it would still let you.
Huh.
Probably because it's not busy. So they're like, hey, do you want to keep going?
All right.
So the Creep Show, what are we looking at? The TV show?
All right, the TV show is an anthology horror series based on the 1982 movie features vignettes that explore terror, murder, the supernatural, and the unexplainable. It premiered September 26, 2019. Production location was here in Georgia. There was 11 episodes. It was based on Creep Show by Stephen King and George A. Romero.
Ooh, Stephen King and George Romero.
Let's take a look at the lovely movie.
I bet that would be really cool too.
Oh, we're back in this side of Grovetown.
Do we have a plot line based on what the original Creep Show was?
Creep Show. A compendium of 5 short but terrifying tales contained within a single full-length feature. This film conjures scares from traditional boogeymen and portents of doom. In one story, a monster escapes from its holding cell. Another focuses on a husband, Leslie Nielsen, with a creative way of getting back at his cheating wife.
Ooh.
Other stories concern a rural man, played by yours truly, Stephen King, and a visitor from outer space, and a homeowner, E.G. Marshall, with a huge bug problems and a boozing corpse. Directed by George Romero.
This sounds really interesting. And none of us have seen this before, right?
No.
I feel like that's something we should sit down and watch. Like, that sounds really neat to me. Wow. So now, after hearing what it is, I mean, what do we think? Would we rather have Season of the Witch, or would we rather have something like that?
I'd prefer Creepshow.
Yeah, Stephen King.
Yeah,
Romero,
I mean, that's kind of tempting. And if they base it more off of the newer Creepshow, the TV show that Greg Nicotero did.
There's a movie. There's multiple movies. There's 3 movies, actually.
You know, that's the thing about it. If they base it off of the Greg Nicotero TV show, they can literally bring him in to kind of give guidance and work with him. And he actually does that a lot with Halloween Horror Nights. If I'm not mistaken.
Ooh. Tom Savini is the creep.
Oh.
That's all 3 horror legends right there, just right off the
Yeah.
bat.
Tom Savini, Romero, and Stephen King. Like,
I can't believe they got
I'm in
all
for
3 of
that.
them together to fucking just make.
And
what? Okay.
Savini's like the greatest prosthetic makeup artist in like the like the horror film, like
He made Corey Taylor's most recent mask.
Who? So it sounds like the Creep
awesome.
Show one might be the one we're gonna get. I mean, just based on popularity alone, I think a lot more people know about Creep Show right now than they know about.
That's a $3 order. That's the one
I think they know more about Creep Show than they know about Halloween Season of the Witch.
More people would enjoy Creep Show over Season of the Witch.
I think they probably would, but even so, like, I really do kind of want Season of the Witch just because I love it. Like, it's one of those guilty pleasures for me. Like, I really, like, if it comes on TV, it's one I've got to watch.
Road for half a mile.
So I would still really like to have Season of the Witch, but I think I'd be kind of happy with Creep Show 2 just based off of the description that you just read to me. It seems like it would still be worth checking out. Yeah, so that'd be kind of interesting. I'm curious how they would do that. So I think we definitely need to stage a sit down and watch Creep Show. What do we think, guys?
Definitely gonna have to.
Yeah, we should definitely check that out. What year was it made?
Creep Show was made 82.
Same year as Season of the Witch. Wow.
Yes.
Oh, no wonder everyone's putting the two up against each other. All right, guys. So I think that about wraps it up for this episode of the Terror Talks. But I think we've got a lot of good stuff to look forward to with Halloween Horror Nights. What do y'all think?
Yeah, well, as far as Season of the Witch goes, I mean, that'll still be interesting, but I'm definitely going to be rooting for Freak Show, or Creep Show. Creep Show, my bad.
So, Aiden, your vote is for Creep Show. Daniel, what's your vote for?
Creep Show.
Yeah, after hearing about it and discovering it for the first time, we get a raw reaction on Creep Show. We haven't watched it yet, but that's definitely something we're going to check out and give a more detailed review on.
So they're going to vote for Creep Show. I'm still putting my support fully behind Season of the Witch.
I'm sitting at like an 8 on Creep Show, honestly, at this point.
I'm sitting at a 10.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, the big 3. Yeah, I'll go and put it at a 10. Yeah, why not?
So there you go, folks. They're hoping for Creep Show at a 10. I'm hoping for Season of the Witch still. But we're going to see who's correct here. I think it will be very interesting. If you guys could see the things we're looking at on this DoorDash order right now, you would be absolutely baffled. Somebody has ordered 13 chocolate chip cookies.
An apple pie, 2 apple pies, and a McFlurry.
And 13 chocolate chip cookies. Only at McDonald's in Georgia, folks.
Someone's not exercising this week.
Huh. So that's going to about wrap it up for us here on the Terror Talks. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like, comment, subscribe button. If you want to let us know about what you want to hear, feel free to email us at theterrortalks@gmail.com. You can also message us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We are on all of those platforms. We're on YouTube. We are on Spotify now. We just got put on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and another one called Breaker. And there's one other one that we got put on. I'll include them in the description. But if you like what we do, be sure to check us out on all that. Follow us, like us, tell your friends about us. Let us know what you want to hear. We're always looking for suggestions, and if you want to be on the podcast, if you think you have something to offer for us, let us know. We'd love to have you on as a guest. My guests today have been Aiden.
Yep.
And Daniel.
Yep.
And I want to thank you guys for joining me today, and we will see you next time on The Terror Talks.